Do you know where your food comes from? Most of us eat chicken about once a week, probably more if we really like it. But most of us have no idea where our food actually comes from or how they develop and live before they're made into chicken nuggets or scrambled eggs. So to understand how chickens live and develop now, we must go throughout history of chicken farming and production. It's very different from how it is now than it was even a century ago, and it's amazing to see how things change over time, even in the chicken industry, which most people probably don't think about. So chicken farming from the 1900s to the 1920s. Chicken meat was considered a delicacy during this time, and chicken houses weren't very sophisticated, and many chickens died during winter months because of lack of insulation. Chickens were also raised on family farms and kept in very small flocks, so a flock of about 400 was considered a lot back then. Chicken farming from the 1920s to the 1930s. Chickens started to become more of a common meat, like beef and pork was, and caging systems for chickens were introduced, and housing started to improve, so less chickens were dying because they had better insulation and stuff like that for them. Chicken farming in the 1930s to the 1950s. Eviscerators started being put on lines where chickens were killed in factories. What this did was chickens were gutted out, so they were immediately ready to be sold into market after they got off the line to be cooked. After the Great Depression passed, chickens began to be kept in huge flocks in the chicken coops that we see today when we're driving on the side of the road. Chicken farming in the 1950s to the 1960s. So chicken farming changed from a family thing to an actual industry with industrial operations, and most families could afford chicken now because it wasn't considered a delicacy and a luxury item anymore. And flock sizes increased drastically. So instead of having about 400, they were getting into the thousands. So diseases were running rampant, and so disease prevention and vaccines started to be introduced during this time. Chicken farming from the 1970s to the 1990s. Chickens quickly became the top-selling meat over beef and pork, but genetic hormones were coming into play, but they were banned in the 1950s, although breeders kept trying to get around this even though it was illegal to inject them with hormones. So chickens today. Chicken is the most consumed meat in America over anything, and it's not really a luxury item, and it's very cheap compared to beef and pork. So breeders are still trying to find ways to make chickens produce more eggs and be bigger. So what they do is they selectively breed, which means when they have a really large chicken and another one, they breed those together, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger over time. And the chickens, they want them to be as big as they can be from the time that they're hatched to the time that they go to the meat factories to be auctioned off. So now I'm going to tell you about how chickens have changed over time. So in the 1920s, it took about 16 weeks to a chicken to grow to 2.5 pounds, which is normal. Nowadays, it's about 6 weeks for them to get to 5.5 pounds. So to put that into perspective, if a baby was born at 6 pounds and 6 ounces, it would only take them 2 months and they would be 660 pounds. Now, flock numbers have also changed. Like I said, flocks used to be about 400, and that was considered large in family times. But today, chickens are kept in flocks in industrial-sized chicken coops, and they're in the thousands. Like, they're all cramped in there together. Now I'll tell you about the treatment of chickens. So because chickens are in crowded spaces, they're forced to walk all over each other, and they're always scrambling to get over each other to their food. And because they're so big with their little legs, a lot of times the legs just break out from under them, and they just sit on the ground and they just die. And because they're so cooped up, they have to use the bathroom all over the floor. And so the fecal matter with the pheromones, it often gets in their lungs and kills them. The chickens that lay eggs are the breeder chickens, and they're treated horribly. So oftentimes breeders will take a hot blade and cut their beak off so they don't peck at each other when they get agitated. And they force them to go without food so that they stay at an optimal weight. So in conclusion, chicken farming has changed a lot in the last century. This industry is one that not many people think about, and they're unaware of the changes that are happening and where their chickens come from and how it's produced. Now, I'm not urging you to stop eating chicken or to run a Save the Chickens campaign, but I'm just letting you know where your food comes from next time you order a chicken sandwich or make an omelet.